I'm Pamela Hasselberg, owner of Pilates Minnesota.
And I'm Shawn Marquis, physical therapist. I work at Pilates Minnesota. So today we're going to start with postural corrections and talk about breath, and also do some movement to emphasize more efficient breathing. So what we're going to start with, Pam, is have you just kind of be in a poor postural position. Why? Because most of us sit here like this. We do a lot of sitting, maybe sitting poorly. Also with age, we tend to get stiff and maybe stuck, tight hip flexors. There's a lot of reasons for poor posture. So the first thing we're going to do is have you find a chair that works for you. So knees in line with your hips, and feet are going to be on the ground. So as you try and sit taller, we're trying to think about those sit bones and where your sit bones are, and you're sitting right on top of them, and that's where your pelvis is, right here. Your rib cage right above that is supposed to be sitting right on top of your pelvis. And you want to think about a little bit of a curve inward here if you can. Just make sure this isn't at all painful or just uncomfortable. The shoulder blade should be dropping straight down. A lot of us overcorrect, so overcorrect, for that chest forward, rib popping position. You want to feel like you can relax those shoulders for a second, slide your shoulders up, inhale, and then exhale and pull them straight down so that you feel that you're just setting them down. It shouldn't feel like you're overworking here, okay? The lengthening of the back of the neck is what we're looking for, and reaching from the crown of the head all the way up to the ceiling. Thinking about that length through your whole spine. I want you to do what most people do when they correct their head and neck and they think they're getting taller, which is jutting their chin forward and looking up to the ceiling. That's what most people do. They kind of get taller, pointing their nose upward. You want to think about the back of your neck, pulling your chin in slightly, and feeling that length back here, all the way through the back of the head and neck. Okay? So that's basic postural correction, and that's where you'd like to start. Again, don't feel uncomfortable you're here. It might feel odd, but that's okay. Now we're going to talk about breath, and breath is really multifaceted. We're talking about breath into our diaphragm. Our diaphragm is right down here in the lower rib cage. So we talk about emphasizing the breath into the lower ribs, into the upper chest, into the upper back, as well as forward into the diaphragm. We're going to try and do all three of those things. So the first breath I want you to think about, Pam, is breathing into the sides of your ribs. So if you think of breathing into my hands, that breath is moving the ribs laterally. And then as you exhale, you're trying to funnel those ribs and drawing them back down. When you breathe in, you really want to emphasize a little bit of the Pilates breath, which is breathing in through your nose, and then fogging a mirror up with the exhale. Nice. The other thing you might want to think about is really taking that breath in through your nose, all the way to the point where your shoulders aren't elevating, and then exhaling all the way out. I want you to challenge yourself to feeling that breath moving all the way out, no more air. And then when you breathe in, you're vacuuming really good air in. It's all about oxygen exchange. Good. So the next part of this, I want you to think about breathing into the upper chest wall, which is here, and then your upper back. So if you can breathe into the upper lobes of your lungs, inhale, and then exhale, still feeling like those ribs are drawing down without losing height. You want to feel that breath is coming from the diaphragm, not your spine. So Pam, if you emphasize the accessory muscles, which is shoulder elevation. So if you breathe in and you feel like your shoulders are going up, breathe your shoulders up. That's accessory motion. That's wasted energy. And then exhale, coming down. The other place where most people start breathing is when they move from their spine and pop their ribs forward as on the breath in. And then the breath out is coming back forward. That's a lot of wear and tear in your spine. So this is why we talk about breath a lot in Pilates. So breathing into the ribs and rest. Also, let me just say, if you feel like you're getting a little lightheaded, stop and take some few normal breaths. This is a ball that's going to go behind your upper back. Upper back, also known as your thoracic spine. And we're going to accentuate just more breath with this ball here, just to help with posture. Okay, so we're going to move our arms up into flexion on the inhale, and then exhale, coming back down. So the point of this exercise is really to find shoulder motion, expand and open up the front of the diaphragm, right where my hand is, and then exhaling and maintaining height. So the more oxygen you can get, the better. Better sleep, better thinking, less fatigue. this emphasis is right into the front. Okay? Good. Notice how she's staying tall as she brings her arms up and down. Beautiful. Now we're going to go to the last exercise, which is extension over the top of the ball with your arms reaching up. So see how she's lifting up and back? Watch that the lower back is not doing all of this motion. A lot of times people get so involved in that upper back because that's where we know how to move from. You want to see if you can keep that lower body still. Open up the ribs, open up the upper back, and breathe in at the top and exhale, fully coming down. Good, you're going to do it one more time. So as you breathe in, it's like a pump handle up. Air comes in, and then air pushes back out because your diaphragm